To climb a mountain. It's a very popular metaphor. Society visualizes adversity and challenges as things to overcome, and having had finished the challenge, saying one may have peaked when they succeed. The reality of climbing a true mountain, however, couldn't be farther from the simple metaphors we use so often. It's a treacherous, lethal journey that relatively very few can say they've accomplished in their lifetime. Some of the world's steepest inclines, harshest, coldest climates, and intense natural gauntlets lay at extreme heights, waiting to be tested by the human spirit, body, and mind. But it's for that reason alone, it's as intriguing as it is as to why someone would take it upon themselves to really actually climb a mountain through and through, and to just what it takes to gain that passion, that drive and courage to take those first steps up the mountain. But of course, climbing a mountain takes more than just wanting to do it. It's 50% why you do it and 50% how you do it. It doesn't matter how determined you are, you won't reach the first summit without proper gear and equipment. Although mountaineering, also known as alpinism, is an expensive sport. On average, an entire kit of carabiners, cooking supplies, harnesses, helmets, rope, rock hooks, ice axes, and just about every other necessity mentioned still lands you about $543.92. But even still, that's not including food, clothes, bedding, or mountain guides, which will go far beyond the initial equipment price. The benefit to such a high cost is that unless you lose or break equipment, you'll always have it for the next climb. It's worth noting too that despite having the equipment, unless you can carry all those pounds and still be fit enough to climb a mountain, you're not going to make it very far. So let's envision this. We're all packed up, ready to drive to the local mountain to start the ice climb, picks in hand and harnesses on. Yet, despite our preparedness to begin our ascent, we're still left without something crucial, something that we didn't forget in stores. We're left without a purpose. Exactly why people climb mountains seriously beats me, and in all honesty was the purpose for this video in and of itself when I wrote the essay surrounding it. Just what gets these kinds of people out of bed in the morning, and what gets them to choose this? When looking up mountain climbing as a search term in Google, I got what you'd probably expect. Drone footage of the Alps, Nat Geo interviews of people I'd never heard of talking about mountain tragedies and mysteries, and gear. Lots and lots of gear. But something I thought might be good to delve into would be background info, not on climbing techniques or mountain topography, but on climbing as a whole, history, and the aforementioned things. The first people ever to climb Mount Everest were Hilary Edmond and Norgay Tenzing in 1953. It took over 400 people to get just those two where they got, with 362 porters, or people who carried their baggage, 20 Sherpa guides, and over 10,000 pounds of baggage. The difference between their journey and the average 2021 Everest expedition is that anyone can make the pilgrimage now, regardless of their skill level. If you can afford the Sherpas and the porters, you'll be far more set than Hilary and Norgay ever were. Even still, the price range for a standard supported climb ranges from $28,000 to $85,000. Not to mention checkpoints, small towns in between certain altitude points where alpinists and natives alike meet and settle for however long it pleases them until they work it up to continue their journey. But I'm losing focus here. Climbing a mountain is costly and a workout, but even with all this knowledge of how, I still don't understand why someone would risk their life for what is, for some, a death sentence. Something that always stuck out to me as a person viewing art or sport or whatever is that it's blatantly obvious when people put an effort and practice and time into what they're doing. Even if it's slower than most, they still have a good time doing it and do whatever it is they're doing because they simply enjoy it. James Martin, climbing guide, instructor, and Bellingham-based American Alpine Institute operations manager, has stated, quote, "I think the first reason people climb is because it's fun. The sense of adventure might be another thing that draws people into climbing in the beginning, but that's only part of it." End quote. Essentially meaning, while the appeal of the adventure is a draw for some to start climbing, people stay because, to them, it's as fun as football is to a quarterback, or surfing is to a surfer. I guess what I'm getting at is that maybe in search of why people want to climb a mountain, I never even took into account the fact that there doesn't really need to be a why. People do things irrationally because they enjoy them, like popping zits or pulling grass up from the ground. It might not be healthy or help anyone in any way, but if you can glean enjoyment from something that isn't going to injure or harm anyone else, then go for it. Mountain climbing is this wonderful hobby and lifestyle for those who choose to delve into it that just screams volumes to the world as a feat of not only human engineering, but human aptitude and passion. Pulling your entire body weight up a cliffside, clambering on freezing ladders over massive 20-meter drops, sleeping in tents where one bad dream can mean life or death. It's a lot. But that's the risk you take. Pilots know their dangers. Even painters and actors have their limits. Every job and every hobby comes with risks, whether it's financial or fatal. On the mountain, it's all-encompassing. But for mountaineers, for alpinists, it's living. It's feeling alive. It's being alive.